What is success? Success is a point where opportunities as well as preparation meets. What is success? Success is exactly the journey and not the destination. With these things in mind, today we have amongst us someone who has been successful in a very recent past. Warm welcome each and everyone on SuperGrads YouTube channel. Today we are here to talk to someone who has made big in IIM Indore. Yes, he has cracked IPM Indore recently. I'm talking about Ishan Panda, who has given his valuable time to us for an interview. A warm welcome on SuperGrads YouTube channel, Ishan.
Good morning, sir.
How are you feeling now, right now, on completely other side of the table? So, अभी feeling कैसी है? सबसे पहले, if you can explain this to our audience right now.
Sir, obviously, sir, I'm very happy, sir. Crack ho gaya, sir. Obviously, it's a tough exam and a prestigious exam. So, if everyone is happy in my family, my friends, everyone congratulate kar raha hai. Feeling like a king right now. High
Okay,
pe chal raha hu.
so this king-like feeling is clearly visible on the face of Ishan as well, and I'm sure that this interview is going to be very fruitful for all the people who are watching us right now because he's going to tell you exactly what he did and what he did. If you guys are going to do the same thing, definitely it's going to be a useful thing for you guys. So let's start from your preparation part. How did you prepare for it? If you can elaborate it a bit and tell exactly to the students who are thinking of giving the examination 22 and 23, how should they move right now? What was your preparation that point of time?
Firstly, sir, the first important tip I would say is to give as many mock exams as possible, because mock exams, especially ones which are timed to test, are very important, because it made me not only aware of how much time I should give to each and every section, it gradually increased my scores in every section because I started to notice the question patterns and how they were usually answered. So, sir, that would be a number one tip, is to give as many mock exams as possible.
Okay, great. So what he's telling is the crux. He could find the real IPM Indore paper when he started giving the mocks and he started, going with the flow of the mocks. And the great thing about Supergrads mocks is that they're exact replicate or the replication of the actual exam pattern. And so they'll give you the rhythm always. So they'll be giving you the rhythm of how the examination paper is going to be at the end. And once you're thorough with the mock part, definitely on the D day, you're going to do something great. We'll do one thing. Let's have individual strategy, or we'll be also asking Ishan, how did he prepare for various subjects? Starting from verbal ability part. So, what were you exactly doing in last 1 year that helped you to crack the verbal ability section of IPM Indore?
Yes, sir. So initially, when I started preparing for these exams, the one thing I noticed about the verbal section was that there was a particular type of questions which are especially tough and which I was weak against, was the synonyms and antonyms, because they require very high level vocabulary, and oftentimes I miss the words. So to get over that, I started reading some pages of the dictionary and some books which were meant to increase your vocabulary on a daily basis, to get through the high level words so that I can know their meanings and answer these questions. And so in the other sections, it is more important that you understand what the question is asking of you, because a lot of tricky questions in the verbal section. So giving more and more papers makes you used to the type of questions being asked, increasing your accuracy of getting them right.
Great point being made by Ishan over here. So, verbal ability part, he dealt with it very intelligently. So, his lacuna was the vocabulary part. So, he was going through the books which could help him with the vocabulary part because it is really tough. I understand that particular part. And really, so, and one more important thing, as he said rightly in the very first part, that yes, he was adept at giving mocks. So that helped him to come very, very close to the final examination as well. Most important part of IPM Indore paper is quantitative aptitude part, and really many students, get a chill pill because of this particular part. So how did you deal with the quantitative aptitude part? It's going to really help them as well.
Yes, sir. So I was preparing for NTSE in class 10th, and NTSE has a very similar pattern of examinations. So I was already used to giving this type of questions. So to
Okay.
further increase my score to secure my admission in this institute, the most important tip, as I said, is to keep giving the papers, because once you start giving a lot number of papers, you start to see that there are particular type of pattern of questions which are usually asked and how to attempt them. And most importantly, you have to work towards increasing not only your accuracy but the speed at which you attempt the questions, because the biggest part of this section, the biggest and the toughest part, is the little amount of time you get for a huge number of questions. So speed is the most vital part in this.
Okay, so good point being made by him. He made himself adapt at the type of questions which are being asked in the actual exam pattern. So he could find out somehow with the help of the mocks and everyday practice which he was doing that what kind of exactly questions are being asked. Then he worked on the accuracy part and finally on the speed part as well, because these are the two things which form the backbone of the entire examination part. Now, let me tell you guys that Ishan has not only cracked Indore, but he also secured his place in the IIM Rohtak as well in the IPM after clearing the IPM segment. So he has been a wonderful student of SuperGrads. And Ishan, I just want to ask you one more thing. I mean, if you can help students with the logical reasoning part also, because you may have given a lot of inputs over there for the IPM Rohtak thing. You have been very creative. In fact, he has won many accolades in the creativity part. So logical reasoning would have been a very easy cup of tea for him. So what was your strategy in the logical reasoning segment?
Yes, sir. So one thing I think which differentiates the IPM Indore and the IPM Rohtak exams is that the IPM Indore tends to be towards the tougher side of questions,
Right.
but the number of questions is less. But in IPM Rohtak, what is more important is that the number of questions is much bigger. So that is where speed becomes an even more important factor, because you get even less time for attempting questions. So especially for the logic section, we really don't get enough time, because the verbal section already has comprehensions, which takes a long time to read, and the mathematical part already takes a long time to solve the questions. So the logical part, you have to adapt yourself to identify patterns immediately, which only comes through practice. So the modules at Supergrad and the constantly gave me new and new types of questions, through which I was able to recognize the patterns and get my speed up by a lot.
Great. And now I could remember, once you were through that IPM aptitude test indoor as well as Rohtak, in fact, and we were doing that journey together, and individually we were carrying on the mocks. I could remember myself, Anil sir, as well as Pankudi ma'am, all three of us scolded heavily Ishan that point of time, and that was a fantastic journey portion as well. So if you can tell the interview preparation journey to the students as well, because interviews form very significant role in Indore as well as Rohtak. 35% in Indore and more than 25% in Rohtak, because they are taking 40% part from 10th and 12th. So in fact, it's on the higher side as well in Rohtak as well. So what was your journey when you prepared for the interview part?
Yes, sir. So, sir, when I got to know that I've qualified the written part for both IPM Rohtak and IPM Indore, so I immediately came to you guys, sir, you, Anil, sir, Pankhuri, ma'am. And so the amount of resources I got helped me extremely. So, firstly, the online classes where there was a lot of information about the basic kind of questions, especially the HR types, and the body language and the presentation, and the amount of content you showed to the interviewee was drilled into me. And so then was followed by the mock interviews and the feedback by you and Pankhuri ma'am. So I got to learn a lot about my weaknesses and how I sometimes say the wrong answers or give the wrong impression, which I was able to correct and work on my strengths. So like you said, a very bright smile. So I worked on that and improved on those parts. But sir, also a very important factor was the classes conducted by Anil sir with the group of students. So it actually helped me a lot, as we were able to discuss our doubts and share our knowledges, which greatly helped increase my GK part of the interview.
Great, Ishan. Now, what strategy are you going to suggest to the students, because they are listening to you right now? They may be giving the examinations in 22 or in 23, and really they are working hard for this one particular seat which you have already achieved. So your journey is going to be their journey in the coming time. What strategy are you going to suggest to them?
So for the written part, I would say start today. Start giving
Great.
mock papers as soon as possible. There are really a very good amount of mock papers in the SuperGrad course. I would suggest doing them every single day, because every single paper and every single question gives you one more type of question that you're able to answer, and ask all your doubts to whomever you can. I had a lot of good faculty in SuperGrad to help me with that, so that I'm really grateful for that. And so for the interview part, I would say read the newspaper daily. The GK questions, they can ask from varied a number of areas which you need to know the answers to. So, sir, having a GK up is very important. So, sir, daily newspaper reading is an absolute must.
Great. Now, so you already answered this part, but I'll ask you once again, why are you suggesting Supergrads to students? I mean, what is the reason behind that? What is that one thing which you got and many of the others are not getting? Please.
Sir, actually putting it down to one thing would be difficult because I got so much from this program. So initially for the mock papers, so there was such a good amount of mock papers in this course, and the modules by Anil sir, Pankaj sir, Ragwinder sir. Sir, they really helped me to clear all my doubts whenever I had tough problems facing the tougher questions. And so in the interview side, sir, I was really lacking in some areas which I could excel greatly in the interview parts, because I got so much good advice from all the faculty like you, sir, Pankhudi ma'am, and Anil sir. So, sir, SuperGrad, I would say, helps you greatly. If you want to do this exam seriously, I would absolutely suggest this course.
Great. Thank you, Ishan, for all the praises. And last question to you. Advice to 2022 and 23 students right now, what they should be doing. Your advice will be very fruitful for them.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I've seen a lot of students, they get scared because there's a huge number of people giving this exam and a very limited number of seats, and get scared to give this exam. Sir, I would say don't be scared. This is an exam which greatly values your hard work and the effort you put in. Every single question you do, every amount of little effort that you put in gives you an extra edge, which gives you a greater chance to crack this exam. The amount of hard work you put in directly translates into your chances of this exam. So don't be scared and just do your best. Every single day counts. Thank you, sir.
Great. I think the last point was the crux of the entire interview process as well, that every day counts. And when you're putting your efforts on an everyday basis, it becomes a huge effort and that helps you in succeeding finally. Thank you for the valuable time, Ishan. It was a fantastic interview. I'm sure that students are going to get benefited out of it. And all the students carry something or the other which he has said in the interview. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.